You know, at one time I was new to running a chainsaw, and I'm still no professional by any means. I'm going to show you some of the things I do, and going to show you a few techniques that I use to makes it easier. For me, it's easier. So please use extreme caution when using a chainsaw. And if you're under 18 years of age, please have a parent with you. And this is things I do. Because there's nothing worse than say you're in an SHTF situation. You've never cut wood in your life, and you don't know the first thing about chainsaw or cutting any kind of wood or using a chainsaw. So you're going to use a mixed gas like a weed eater uses. 2-cycle. You're going to want to mix your 2-cycle oil with gas, and you can't just run straight gasoline in these things. But every time you fill up your gas tank, you're going to want to make sure to fill up your chain oil. And for this, you're just going to want to use some bar and chain oil, some bar and chain lubricant. You want to make sure you fill this up every time you put gas in it, because you don't want that thing to run out of oil. It will tear up your chain, dull your chain. You'll wear yourself out. Same thing. You want a good sharp chain also on your chainsaw, because you will wear yourself out trying to cut wood with a dull chain. It'd be like spinning your wheels. You ain't going nowhere quick. But so you got your gas, you got your oil. This is your safety. If something should happen and this saw comes up, that chain will stop. That chain will stop rolling on the bar. It's your chain brake. You got your choke. Here at fire, kick it up to half choke. Okay, see this chain spinning? There's your chain brake. Pull it back to release. You want to make sure your chain is oiling. You can run it. Point your bar, and you'll see some oil fling off of that chain. That's what you want to see. You want to make sure your chain is getting oiled. If not, sometimes right around here, your oilers will get stopped up with sawdust, and you just take your little stick, little twig, poke it around in here, start cleaning some of that out where it's gotten gummed up. chainsaw, it's not like a skill saw blade or anything like that. This chain has, see these flat things right here? Those are like mini chisels. Instead of like blades or knives, they're like, it's a mini chisel. You've ever seen a real sharp chisel go through wood and it just shaves off big curls? Well, you're going to want big shavings coming out of your saw, because when you get these big chunks like this, you can tell your chain's cutting right. If you're getting a fine sawdust, you're going to need to sharpen your chain. And let's see, these little teeth right here before the flat chisel part, those are clean outs. They're cleaning those chips out. All right. So when you're cutting wood, if that gap you're cutting in starts closing up, you want to pull your chain, pull your bar out of the log just as you see it start closing up, or else your bar get pinched. And it all has to do with the way the log's laying when you start cutting it. So when that happens, take your bar out of the cut and you start coming at it from the underneath with your bar moving upward toward the cut you've already made. That'll keep your bar from getting pinched in the log. And I've had them pinched so bad you have to cut them out with another saw. And if you ain't got another saw, well, it's rough. So you never want to get your chain in the dirt. When you go to cutting a log like that that's laying flat on the ground, you want to cut until you know you're not going to hit dirt, and cut all your pieces. And then you're going to want to try to roll the log is the best way to do it. Might take a couple of you to roll a log that big, but roll it over until you can see the back side of those cuts, and then make your cuts connect, and you'll have your rounds. I enjoy cutting wood. It's rough, it's back breaking, but it's very enjoyable. I feel good. When I get home from cutting wood, I feel real good. I feel like, you know, got a lot accomplished. You know, I don't do a lot of physical work at work, and it's nice to be able to do some good hard work to keep your body in shape, and to just feel like you've accomplished something. You know, it's that that man, you know, the manpower. Let the saw do all the work. If you got a good chain on your saw, then it will cut through the wood. You don't have to apply hardly any pressure. You don't have to work the saw back and forth. You'll feel that saw eating, and it'll eat right on down through that log. So don't kill yourself. Let the saw do the work. That's why people invented chainsaw. So make it easier, quicker, and it really saves the back. Yeah, you're kind of humped over, but try that with a 2-man crosscut or a 1-man crosscut saw. I'll tell you what, if I had to do this with a crosscut saw, we'd probably freeze to death this winter. And you know, I said in my last video that wood is my main heating source. It's my main heating source because I choose it to be. I have central heat and air, but if I can drop my electric bill by about $300 in the winter months, $300 a month during the winter months, you know, I'm gonna do it. And if it takes me out here busting my back to do it, you know, my labor, in a sense, doesn't cost me any money. So I can come out here and save $1,000 a winter just by cutting my own wood and burning wood, not using that electric heat. Yeah, I'm sure there's cheaper ways to heat my house where I don't have to work this hard, but I enjoy cutting wood. I enjoy burning wood. You know, it reminds me of my grandpa. When I was a kid, my grandpa had a big fireplace. I'm talking, he had a, you know, his house was about 3,900 square foot. And he had a wall in his house that would probably be about the whole width of my house. And it was a rock fireplace. You know, there was rock, and then the fireplace opening itself was probably half the size of my Jeep. And he would burn, you know, he could burn upwards of 16 rick of wood a year. He didn't have a wood stove insert or a wood stove that could, you know, save that wood. He just freely burnt the wood in his fireplace. And it'll eat, you know, a fireplace will burn some wood up. But there ain't nothing better. I used to love as a kid going over there and smelling that red oak or that hickory or that white oak burning in the fireplace. And you know, now with me burning wood as an adult, it takes me back years, a couple years, you know, and it also makes me think that when my kids come over, when they're older and married and moved on, you know, they'll always remember the smell of that smoke in the wintertime. Well, I'm sure I didn't cover everything. By no means am I an expert chainsawer, a lumberjack. I'm not a lumberjack. I'm a coke man and a simple man. And hope some of this stuff helps. And if you have any questions, maybe something I didn't cover the way I do it, let me know. This is Coke Man 250 from the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless. And remember, prep smarter and pray harder.